Watcher, and welcome back to Dominions 5, where I'm EA Relay. Turn 17, and if we look at the messages, we can very quickly see that things didn't go quite as planned. We have 3 battles, I was expecting at most 2, and definitely not to have one in Therodos. I have a luck event, I get 600 gold, I need the money, that's great. We're under siege in Therodos, which is disconcerting. I didn't expect to fight on Therodos, and I certainly didn't expect to lose it. And we've only got one fort under siege. The other one has broken out. Let's look at the strategic map to see what actually happened. Bad things. If you remember from last time, I was moving the army from Relaye into Divine Ocean here, and another force from Therodos, and I think something else. I knew that the force from Therodos was not on its own sufficient to fight Therodos' originally expansion, now raiding party. I was expecting the group from Therodos to meet the army from Relaye and have a bigger battle that they would handily win in Divine Ocean. Obviously that didn't happen, and we'll talk about why instead. The battle itself for Divine Ocean is fairly standard, my usual tactic of mind blasting things. Obviously, his army moved to Therodos. Let's see what happened there. He has all his ghosties and a melee commander who's not his prophet. I have a rather meagre force of Lobos, some other chaff that I had on hand, a Mind Lord, and a load of Mind Blasters. Oh, and a little mage to give me a water elemental, because why not? Let's see what happens. The stupid ghosties fire arrows. My chaff runs in and, predictably enough, can't hit the stupid ghosties. I seem to just be mind blasting the arrows, and the ghosties kill my water elemental. My Mind Lord bravely rushes forward, slowly killing the ghosties, and he dies. And then the ghosties kill all my sacreds as well, because you might as well have a total defeat. That did not go as planned. I lost my hero. My slave mage bravely survived, probably because I ran away, and 3 of my sacred mind blasters lived. Everything else died. I did manage to kill the melee commander, but there's a possibility that Therodos will move another commander from the fort that is no longer under siege. This is particularly unfortunate because if you look at the other army that I had, another 9 mind blasters, 50 Lobos, another slave mage, and an aboleth would, I think, have handily carried that battle. The other thing we can see is that Therodos broke out of a fort and killed my meager force on it, which is not a great surprise. I have nothing that can put that fort under siege right now, because I have to break siege in Therodos first and continue the other siege. So how did I screw up? When 2 armies in adjacent provinces attack into each other's province, the game determines in which province the battle happens. The calculation is quite complex, and I was too lazy to do it. I just eyeballed it and thought, I'll be fine. What I massively underestimated was that Therodos' troops being ethereal makes a huge difference. So the fight was always going to be in Therodos. If I'd known that, I'd have done things very differently. I might have PD dumped, I don't know what. As it was, I lost. I've got a little force up here in 45 that I'm sending to bolster the troops that I've got besieging 44. I'm trying to take the Hoburgs again. I'm sending my Hydromancer in. He's a native Water 3. I've got him scripted to summon water power here. I'm pretty sure this is not the script I sent them in with. Quite apart from anything else, I have no idea why those mermen are just sitting on their fins. They should be joining the fray. Anyway, my Hydromancer will be able to summon 4 little water elementals, and that should be enough to take care of the Hoburgs. I have 16 provinces at turn 17, which isn't terrible, but one of them is a second capital. It's currently under siege, and another province is a hostile fort under siege, but let's not pay too much attention to such details. On the plus side, my dominion has spread. On the minus side, my god is still dead. Bollocks. Turn 18. Research in Conjuration is complete. That's Conjuration 4. We'll look at research in a minute. I have 2 battles. First in Therodos, and then in the Kingdom of Dara. I have 3 luck events. 2 are good. In Relay, my province income goes up by 50 a turn, which is excellent. And in the Holy See, I get some more money. Also good. Sadly, there's been a very ill omen in Lake Purple, and I've increased unrest and misfortune. Oh well. We only have 1 fort under siege, which is great, because that means they haven't broken out and they haven't attacked that fort. So of the 2 battles, if we look at the one on Therodos, they did not move a commander in, all their ghosts died and ran away, so this time I actually managed not to take any losses. Excellent. Then there's a battle in Kingdom of Dara, which is the Hoburgs again. Spoiler alert, I don't win that battle. We'll look at that in more detail after we look at what else is going on. Some positive is that my dominion has now spread in Therodos itself. That's because my prophet is there, and although he's not preaching, because I need him to call my god back, he generates a temple check. I'm putting his fort under siege with the troops I'm mustering in Therodos. I've decided not to take any half measures. I'm hitting them with almost everything I have. A load of Lobos and some Mind Blasters, less than I'd like, and pretty much everybody who can is summoning a water element. I've got 2 gems on them, not because they need 2 to summon a water elemental, but because they'll need another gem to storm the castle. Therodos is now played by the AI, so I'm not afraid of any gem baiting. So let's have a look at the battle in the Kingdom of Dara, where I managed to lose yet again against the Hoburgs. I summoned some little water elementals that should run along and crush the Hoburgs. Wait a minute. My Hydromancer has decided to book it. What the hell? My water elementals have consequently disappeared because of magic being. And now I have no magic leadership on the field. That was utterly terrible. I didn't want to lose my Hydromancer, so I'd scripted him to retreat. But elementals are magic beings, and the commander I'd sent with him to keep the battle going could not lead magic beings. I should have sent the slave mage to die cheaply for the cause. Instead, all my water elementals died, and I lost them. I should also back them up with a line of chaff I just left behind. Anyway, I cocked that up, and yet again did not take the Hoburg province. I have, however, constructed 2 temples, bringing my total up to 4, and 1 shy of increasing my dominion strength. Those 2 temples are in provinces on the coast, which is by design. Each temple will generate a dominion check, so on their own they should help to push Therodos' dominion out. I'm also recruiting in each one a polypal mother. They're H1s, so they can preach. They also auto-summon little aboleth polyps, which are generally useless, except as chaff. I want them around to build up defences, but the main purpose is that both the priests who built the temples and the polypal mothers that are going to be created will be able to call my god back. It's going to take a while. Now that Therodos is mine again, I'm recruiting a load of siege chaff. I'm also recruiting slave mages both here and in my capital because they're cheap researchers. I want to get my research up. It's been hit quite hard by the fact that my awake pretender is dead, My hero is also dead, and everybody is trying to summon my god back. I said we'd look at the research. Here's what I'm planning to get. Conjuration 5 for 2 reasons. First, it gives me access to big elemental, so hopefully I'll stop failing utterly to take the Hoburgs province. It also gives me access to Voice of Tiamat, which is a great underwater remote site searching spell. It seems expensive. It's 8 water gems to cast, but it searches in 4 elemental schools of magic in any underwater province, which I think is worth it, particularly in early A, where there are more magic sites. Therodos has already searched some up, and the capital itself has quite a good gem income. So I'm doing okay in gem, I'm just not great in research. I've only got 80 RP a month, and it's turn 18. For EA Relie, this is terrible. My plan is then to get a bit of construction, some thaumaturgy, some more construction, and some evocation. The construction I want to be able to start to build boosters and gear. I want to go to thaumaturgy 5 to get Soul Slay, and then I want evocation because I want to hit things. This may change, and there's absolutely no way at 80 RP a month I'm getting them in a hurry, but one can dream. Diplomatically, all the land nations know that I'm at war with Therodos, and they also know that I'm winning. What they don't know is that it has cost me far more than I want. They don't know my god is dead, they don't know a hero died. I will win this war, but I'm extremely vulnerable at the moment. So I'm continuing to make loud noises about them staying out of the pond because I will crush them. This is not a lie. I could eventually crush them, but I really don't want to have to. I'd much rather not fight. I have non-aggression pacts with Yomi, Lanka, Veritas, and Ulm. Helheim I don't have a nap with, but they're in a war, and I think they're not doing terribly well. I also don't have a nap with Ermor. EA Ermor is much more like Romans than MA Ermor, which is the zombie apocalypse. I've had cordial chats with the player of Ermor. I'm really desperately hoping that I get to take that Hoburgs province before he does. There's a high probability that he might just snap it up, particularly because there's an army right next to it. I'm only planning to do 2 things this turn. First, attack the fort that is not currently sieged. The second is to move a priest to the east. I'm not quite sure why he's moving, but I suppose I'll find out next turn. That's all for now. Cheerio.